Welcome to the next episode of Chicken and the Fat Lady, where facts are currency and common sense is a commodity. I'm the Fat Lady,
And I'm Chicken. And
and
today we are
what are we
talking flock,
discussing? Yep,
talking flock.
flock
Yeah,
off.
everyone's, along with uh, AI, data centers and whatnot, everyone's second most favorite thing to destroy.
Delete the data centers. Delete them,
Right.
please.
hmm Um, I mean, we necessarily can't be too PC on flock because people have and are actively uh, destroying flock cameras.
Yes,
It,
we are
it's
not advocating for anyone to do anything illegal, but
Yeah,
we
but
are
people are already doing it.
advocating, right? But we are advocating for um, you to delete, and by delete, I mean removing the person in your area from their position that they've been voted into who has allowed things like the data centers and these flock cameras go in. And
Yeah,
that's why we want to delete the data centers and delete the flock cameras.
yeah. So, I mean, I guess let me back up and say, you know, we already had uh surveillance state for, many decades already. The people who want to know your movements already know them from, even before like your even before cell phones were a thing, like
Yeah, I'm going to say
what
for the past 30 something years. Yes.
yeah, they're,
Yes.
your enlistment status, like, based off of your draft, if you're a male, or you know, what things you bought, they could follow, your charges on your bank and where you were shopping. Maybe not necessarily the contents of the exact thing that you're shopping for, but get the general gist of it. So there was a surveillance state for decades before, but it is now so it's just so out in the open, It's
Well, because
where
it's become a financial benefit to those who control that information,
yeah.
right? Because the 1% are the ones benefiting from it and they're selling it to you as a safety thing when it really is all about just obtaining your information and selling your information and giving it away. I mean,
Right.
I watched the CEO of Flock talk some nonsense about 11 million citations were issued last year. And to me, that's 11 million citations that shouldn't have been issued if there wasn't an individual there to witness it. And then he said there was something like the sighting of 125,000 different missing person sightings, but none of those came to a resolution. They were just sightings. So they put you in this state of fear in order to move forward their own agendas. And again, this is just a handful of people making decisions for the rest of the population, none of whom have been elected.
Right. Right. And I mean, we've had things like traffic cams too before, like the proper, like full scale thing that they're trying to implement with these flock cameras, which I think is bullshit. I mean, if I ran a red light and no one got hurt, should I really be ticketed? I know that's, it's a gray area, but like, you know,
Well, it's not even
no,
if you're running, truthfully, it's not even if you're running a red light. If you're just like, I watched that video partially when I was listening before the shower and I finished it up after.
yeah,
It just, that man was surveilled 400 times just traveling through his town,
yeah.
like
We're
doing
talking
nothing.
about
So
having
yeah,
being
it's
surveilled before flock cameras were the big thing that they are in the past couple
no,
years.
but that's what I'm pinging on though. I'm
Yeah.
pinging on you're just driving through an intersection. You're doing nothing. It doesn't matter. I'm
Yes.
saying you don't even need to be running a red light.
Yeah.
Do I not have just, am I just not free to move wherever it is that I want to move without someone obtaining something? Because again, people are making money off of this. People were making money off of this then.
Yes.
People are making money off of this and we are not benefiting from it. Where is my cut of the pie? You're selling my information to everyone. Where is my cut of the pie? I can't stand it when we're driving through New Mexico and we got to go through the citizenry checkpoint because they've got cameras flashing you all around, right? I'm a fucking citizen. I live in this country. I'm,
There there
it's,
was
it
a
just feels intrusive.
yeah, there was a more thickly veiled sense of privacy and movement before these past couple years, because it's like I said, we've always been surveilled, but there was this illusion and there was this thick fog of like, oh, even though I'm outside in public where a bunch of my privacy is thrown out, um because you're willingly going outside and doing things that's public, that's why you can be naked in your house but not outside, that type stuff.
Right, right.
But that thick fog has just become like this thin, like, veneer of we're pressing up and penetrating the barrier. We're like, no, it is the whole surveillance state. I mean, and this isn't like anything new in terms of global, because like places like the UK they have a lot of surveillance cameras, and you know the things like facial recognition and all that stuff, even
But I
before
don't live in
AI
the
was
UK.
being used. No, for sure. But I'm just
No,
saying,
yeah, yeah.
in terms of the world, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying in terms of the world, because uh, contrary to what a bunch of people believe, America is not the center
Of
of
the
the earth.
universe. Right, right,
You
right.
know, um, but yeah, we at least had this illusion of freedom of privacy and of movement. Uh, yeah, I don't, I'm not doing anything fucked up at all
No,
hours of the day,
no,
but I don't want to be watched. You know,
exactly. I
it's like
just
if
want to be
you're
able to move.
working, it's like if you're working at your job, you don't want your boss over your shoulder while you're working, because you're like, that's a hostile feeling that you're on edge and you might accidentally do some shit that gets you fired. It's the same thing. If someone's always looking at you, you may act a certain way that gives them cause to investigate you for no real reason. I mean, it's the whole, walking while black, stop and frisk stuff and all that stuff. But now you know, now it's with these cameras, we can say, oh, they were, doing this over this set amount of time, they were acting this way, blah blah blah, you know. And a lot of times they don't even, like in the video that I sent you, because it's so nuanced, they don't even have to get necessarily a warrant. So a lot of things call into, because that's basically what these flock cameras are. It's not even like uh just the data. It's a lot of it is locking people up, um like, finding them, putting them in a folder, and going, you keep an eye on these people who
Right, an
aren't
excuse to
in
surveil.
tune, right, and aren't in line with the regime, right?
Right, right.
And so
Which is what
it's
I said.
this, yeah, it's this skirting of like the Fourth Amendment, because a lot of what we have in our Constitution, you know, deliberately says, the government can't do this, that, or the third. But, you know, as more modern day things happen, we have to kind of expand that. We have to not just look at the letter of the law, but like the spirit of which a law, or
Was
was in
intended.
place,
Right. It
right?
was intended.
So just
The
because
intention.
this is a private company, who, the police are contractors to, you know buy these and use these and what and this, that, and the third, um and just because it's not a government entity or a government sanctioned entity, right, it is, we're even having this discussion of it being a gray area. I mean, it's a wholly, like, it is wholly the infringing on your at the very least, your Fourth Amendment rights, you
Well,
know.
for somehow it's supposedly not infringing on our rights, but if we're filming police officers doing debaucherous shit, then somehow we're interfering.
You get a bullet in your head,
Right. You know,
you know.
I do get if you're doing something wrong, but if you are just not doing anything, why do we need so much surveillance? And it's not really been proven to be shown as effective as everyone thinks. One of the latest stories was a gentleman and his 1.5-year-old baby being ripped by gunpoint out of a vehicle because it
Right.
read like either the license plate as an X or a Y, whichever, however you want to flip that.
Yeah, it was
I
one
mean,
like
yeah,
letter off.
well, it was either it read it as an X and it was a Y, or it read it as a Y and it was an X, right? And so you terrified this man and a child. And don't think that that child is not going to remember it because it's so little. You've just imprinted on that child. You've created a trauma for that child. And
Right.
now the child may grow up with night terrors and not know the source. And we're supposed to all say that this is okay because there is a large populace of us who would love to live under an authoritarian regime.
Yeah.
Even the ones that know that they're dirty, even the ones that know that they break the law. You always get Michael Meth and Mary Meth Head out there supporting,
Yep.
um, the police and all that in the time of need, and then come to find out, they're the ones that are diddling kids and have the trafficking rings, right?
Right.
Um, like this guy in Florida who was just arrested, who was of the Republican Party, and they never knew anything about his previous history of this stuff, says Rick DeSantis. Oh, he was well vetted, but he was accused of doing something to his children from his first wife. He had 7 children with his first wife.
Right.
So, uh, this police state, it's not policing the right things. It's policing us. And the reason that it's policing us is because they're so disgusting in their thoughts and who they are as beings. This is who they are. And that's why they're trying to make it seem like everyone is up. Zoran Mandami. Crime is down in New York, y'all.
Right.
Crime is down. But it's up in a lot of red places. But we don't want to talk about that because, oh my God, no, we can't hurt the feelings of the whites.
Well,
So
I
what do
mean,
we do? We
they'll
hire the
just point
people that
to
do the
Chicago,
cameras.
you
Yeah.
know.
Well, they'll say
They're
something
like,
else.
what about Chicago?
Yeah. Yeah. But isn't
Sure, New
Gary
York,
Indi-
whatever, but what about Chicago? And it's like, do you understand what's actually going on in Chicago? Have you ever been? Do you understand
well,
the
and
dynamics of what Chicago is? Or are you
it's
just
truly about the
spinning
gun
out the
laws in
talking point?
Indiana and how easy it
Right,
is
yeah,
to get it right.
yeah.
And then also
But they'll
Gary,
just
isn't it Gary, Indiana, that's like the highest riddled crime state or city in the country? Like I think a few years ago it was, at least, or something. So
yeah,
yeah, every single time that little bastard gets on TV, that representative around there, and he talks about Chicago, 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 and I'm like,
yeah.
buddy, yeah. So, but flock is just an extension of all of the other things, though. It's just an extension of a way to control us now. This is like the new religion. You know what I mean? Religion was created in order to control us. That's why we have religion. Come on. It was created to control the populace, and this is just continuing to go down that cycle. This is the sheriffs going after slaves when they ran away, right? This is just a continuation of it, only now we are working with those sheriffs and the billionaires to hurt ourselves, to harm ourselves.
I would I would push back and say religion, you know, wasn't used to control the populace. Religion was more used to justify fucked up things you were doing to someone else.
I think it can be both.
The colonists, specifically um cited it manifests destiny that they came over and colonized America, right? They, and took the land as their own. It wasn't really to control anyone because I mean they were one, they were Protestants that left the religion, right? That came
Hmm.
over. And two, they were killing a bunch of the people that you would
Hmm.
think they want to control. So that's why I'm saying it's less so to control in its inception. Definitely nowadays, for sure. But I'd
But
say less than
justification for a
inception.
genocide, right?
Yeah.
Justification for a genocide. Yeah,
I mean, yes, no, it's splitting hairs, but I would say like
it
as the
is.
inception of religion, I would say is more to justify to yourself the bad things you're doing to someone else is what
I
I
think
would say
it's to
more.
control. I still think it's to control. You have not convinced me with your argument.
And no, I'm just I look, that's what I'm saying. We're splitting hairs because it's the they get to the end goal, which they're the evil. It's the evil of the
Absolutely.
universe.
Right, right, right. Which is to justify what they do and to
Right.
control what the rest of us do.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean,
But that's how I see this, right? Because we all know that these billionaires are shitty and debaucherous and
yeah,
have their toes wrapped in shit. And it's only a matter of time before someone breaks the actual real life hostile story that they're all involved in.
for
Right?
sure.
There's only a matter of time before someone actually comes forward with all of this. So that's why, yeah.
But I mean, and also, so we've had stories like this before when ICE was first starting up, and but specifically, it was people who some people in ICE, or and we've had this in law enforcement for decades, but some people who are in ICE or people impersonating ICE
Yes.
officers
Or police officers in
or
general.
police
Yes.
officers. That's why I said, like, we had this decades
Yeah.
before ICE is really starting to be the
Right.
Gestapo that it is now.
Right.
Of the like raping of women and children. I think it's been in the past couple months. There's been six different rape incidents and or stalking incidents due to flock camera surveillance because one dude just wants to, oh, he sees a pretty lady. I'm in a position of power where I can look up all that footage and find out where she lives and or find out where she frequents out, on lunch break and whatnot and harass her or this, that, and the third, you know, um, or hey, I'm going to take her in to a facility, right? So that's why I say that this is all to justify the bad things that we do to somebody because they will look for something that maybe you've done a little out of line. They'll use that as a justification to take you into a facility and do whatever they want with you. But that's also the thing. Yeah, this whole surveillance of is just an open database too for a bunch of Epsteiners, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But they're
And
not going to give themselves up. And that's the
of
whole
course not.
thing. And
Of
then
course
this
not.
whole, we're not going to keep the data for 30 days anymore. We're going to keep the data for
Whatever.
7 days. Okay. So you're going to review and sell and give that data out to whoever you need to, just in a faster, you're going to churn and burn is like what I'm hearing. That if you don't see something in that moment, I'm sorry, you've missed the opportunity. And that's just the way it is. And that is being someone who has been the victim of crime. That is someone who knows that the system is unfair and that it's bullshit. But there has got to be a line that we draw that we say no, that at some point we have these rights. And I know like there was this whole argument made about legal, these are public roads you're on, you shouldn't have a semblance of privacy. I
Right.
do feel like I have a semblance of privacy when I'm in my vehicle. And
Yeah.
and when you dial a phone number, you have to use the phone company. So at that moment that you dial that number, you have now released that information to the phone company. So now the phone company is free to give that out under this third party bullshit.
Yeah.
But I have to dial that number because this is what's in place for me to utilize. This is again the whole terms of service nonsense for the fucking internet or wherever you're going. You all made this, so I have to use this service. I don't want to use this service. You're forcing me to use the service. This is
Yeah.
just like you have your medical porthole online, right? And they want you to pay your bills there. You go there to pay your bills. And oh, but let me save your credit card. No, I don't want you to save my credit card, but I don't even get
No,
the
no.
option to opt out of that. You automatically just save my little debit card. No, I don't want you saving that. You know how many breaches that we get a freaking year of, oh, where your data has been released. You're safe though, but your data has been released. No
Right.
bullshit. This is the same thing. This is just out in the real world and not online.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a violation.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why, when cell phones were starting to become like, you know, it's your normal everything that everyone has. I mean, for fuck's sake, homeless people have cell phones for shit's sake, right? And we had to reinterpret and make new laws in terms of what falls under something that could be searched, and you have to get like,
Right.
specific warrants for phones and whatnot. So that's what needs to happen here for flock cameras. I mean, ultimately, they don't need to go up. Flock cameras don't need to go up. Is ultimately what is right in the situation. But we also do need, um, because we all know that they're going to go up, and people will
Absolutely.
respond how they're going to
Absolutely.
respond.
And that's the problem.
But we need laws in place for the ones that do go up to be reinterpreted, um, to expand um, to flock cameras. Like you're going to need like proper, uh, what's the word? Not cause, yeah, probable cause to, just like it would get any other warrant or anything. If you think someone's doing this, that, and the third, like you can't make a move or anything, and there needs to be some sort of documentation
Well, what
that,
they're
like,
also doing now is they're going to implement, if you want to look up someone's license plate, you have to provide it with a case number
yeah,
in order for that to move on. There's going to be ways around the system. There's always going to be a way around the system. That woman who accessed it 170 times to follow her ex,
yeah,
another guy who, wanted to know what his ex was doing. He's following her I think, out of Boston.
yeah.
Um, you know,
The woman who, we talked about it, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. The woman who last year uh, said she got an abortion done, and leaving the state of
yep,
Texas, went to go
right,
somewhere,
right,
and they used like 80,000 flock cameras to track her down.
right,
I
right.
mean, the fuck?
Yeah, she wasn't free to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
And
wasn't free to take care
she
of her
wasn't
own
free to
medical needs.
she wasn't free to move, and she did not have the privacy to do something
Yeah,
behind closed doors
yeah,
of a medical facility,
right.
at the behest, at the counsel of a medical professional.
Which is one of the things that Justice Kagan pointed out in her dissent of this. You can track me. I'm going to the therapist. I'm going to my doctor's. I'm going to my lawyer's appointment. I'm going to see my attorney about something. I'm doing whatever. It doesn't matter.
Oh, fuck that. I'm the judge. Why am I the judge being followed around? Like
Right.
what? Like do you not know that you are also going to be in surveillance? And no
Well,
matter
yeah, but
how high
they
you think
control
you
it.
are, no, no,
But
no.
if they control it, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. No matter how high you think you are,
Oh, well, yeah,
you're
there's
still
someone here. Yeah.
below.
Yeah,
So you're
there's
still,
always a bigger dog. There's
yeah,
always
you're
a bigger
still
dog.
going to be surveilled in the same way that, as long as you keep in line. But it's the Korea shit, right? Need to have 3 pictures of dear leader, you know, spend a certain amount of time, the specific time, praising
Right.
your dear leaders type
Right.
stuff.
Right.
We'll know if you don't. We have
Right.
full access to what all of you do on the internet
All the
at,
time.
at all the
In their
24
homes. They have
7.
listening devices in their homes.
Yeah.
Like that's that's what they want this to come to, and that's what they
Yeah,
do have anyway. Every time you have a conversation in your house, that shit comes up in an ad on YouTube now.
yeah,
So it's not just YouTube, it's not just Google, it's Apple selling your information to Google and allowing this shit to happen. Every time I have a conversation with your father, something comes up. I mentioned Daryl Strawberry to your father in your father's ear 3 years ago. Daryl Strawberry's never come up on my YouTube. Fucking today, Daryl Strawberry is going to come up on my YouTube.
there you go.
You know what I mean? So every single time I say something, this something will come up. There will be some kind of medical bullshit that comes up on my YouTube just because I
Yeah,
talked about medical portals. There will be some pro flock bullshit commercial that comes up. Flock cameras have helped so many people because they're running those ads now
yep.
too.
I actually got one of those. I think it was actually yesterday. After I texted you, I was watching Rick and Morty, and there was ad, and it was after I texted you, maybe like 2 episodes later, there was a pro flock commercial.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They are monitoring our every fucking move. But you know what? You got to worry about them vaccines. You don't got to worry about the fucking cameras.
All right.
You don't got to worry about them surveilling you. You don't got to worry about your gas prices. You don't got to worry about anything because they hate fucking trans people and they hate migrants just like you. And you will give up all of your rights for that.
That's a good point because I didn't even think about that before. Where are all of you people who are like they're gonna fucking microchip you with the
Right,
vaccine
right,
right now?
right,
A bunch of you are actually probably against flock cameras, but a bunch of
right,
you are probably the same people, like I keep saying, because it's always going to tie back to AI as well. A bunch of you are all the same people who are hitting on the centers that, a decade ago, you couldn't bring yourself to be like, to vote for the renewable energy,
right,
right?
right,
You've voted against yourself, and every single year more and more of that becomes apparent, and only now, but like where are you guys, the people who were like the vaccines are going to give you a microchip? Never mind,
right,
you had a phone in your hand at that time too
right,
still, so they already tracked you.
right. And 5G is going to rot your brain because they don't
Right.
realize that it's just the fifth generation of the same shit that was out there already.
So yeah,
Right.
where all of y'all, but yeah, so to because I know we wanted to always touch back onto AI, there's you must know that um AI is going to be trained on these flock cameras and shit
Absolutely.
infinitely. They're going to do it 24/7 because they can just run that whole fucking time. And it's already led to, I mean, even before this, facial recognition and whatnot was terrible. It's already led to like false identifying a bunch of black people, right? Because
Because it's
they
white
all
people
look
writing the
alike,
programming for
right?
it.
Writing the
Yes.
program,
Uh-huh.
doing testing, and they're like,
It's
well,
only as
all
good
black
as the
people look
people
alike.
programming it. Yep.
If one of you has dreads and I see another one of you has dreads, that other guy must be the guy we're
Yep.
looking for,
Yep.
right? So make no mistake that everything that is going to be, and also make no mistake that like after it's been trained enough that you know because this is also just waiting for hackers to manipulate, or even the government themselves to manipulate footage and
Other
fabricate,
governments,
right, to fabricate, saying something, that you
which
did
they're
this
already
thing, and
doing.
right, hey, you did this thing. No, I didn't. We've got the video evidence. And I'm like, I wasn't there. We've got the records of all of this. And it's like, well, no, all of that's fabricated. And then the onus is now on you to prove
What are
yourself
you going to
innocent.
do as a lay person?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
On I didn't do this thing, or I didn't say this thing. This is, you know.
Yep.
So yes, this goes hand in hand. The the dismantling of flat cameras goes hand in hand with the dismantling of all the the institutions that want to push AI and AI data centers and all that good stuff. I mean, already the data centers that are going up are actually using, I think, like on average, even 30% more water than they said they were going to use. Um, so already the effects of it being even more terrible than it is are being felt.
Gary,
Um,
Indiana has been a week without power,
yeah,
and the power company is they're building 120 something more data centers, and they already have more than 20 data centers in Indiana. So they're just giving their power away, and they're saying screw the people. But this is what they voted for. You
yeah.
voted for the individuals that were going to sell you out. And make no mistake, the Democrats are selling you out too.
Oh, for
Make no
sure.
fucking mistake. This is just not the Republicans. This is them, the Democrats as well. So they're all selling us out. And I'm so sick of this. We can't have another party. We need a party of the working people. I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. We need a party of the working people, a party of the working people, a party of the working people.
We need
Um,
representation of
we
more
need,
of the middle
yes,
class,
yes, we need represent not just of the middle class, of the lower
of the
classes.
poor. Yeah.
You know, the poor need a seat at the table. It's fucking ridiculous. Um, but the poor is, we went from damaging ourselves and our kids and everything with lead paint. We were smart enough to stop fucking chewing on lead paint and putting lead paint in our houses. But now we're going to destroy the water. Water is life. We need water to live, people. We need water to grow things. I mean, just on a basic level, just we need water for our livestock so that we
Right.
can eat as well. I mean, water is fucking important. And again, there was a place that we used to love to go in Louisiana. There was a beautiful park we used to love to go and hang out. But the last time we were there, the dog got a UTI from drinking the same water she drank before. But oh, there's a data center in the area now because it's damaging the water that's in the reservoir. Are you
Yeah.
flipping kidding me?
And it
And
can't
the
be
oh
treated and cleaned fast enough
no,
because it costs money and it's
right,
costing more and more money to clean the water, right? On top of all the other fucking microplastics and bullshit that's already in the
already in,
water,
right,
and diseases and all that stuff, even
right,
after you clean it, because it's all resistant to the normal effects of purifying water.
right.
I mean, it's just baffling. Like, because they have, you know, we were told this, we were told we didn't have money for healthcare. We're told we don't have
Right.
money for um, fixing our infrastructure, our roads and whatnot, uh, crumbling buildings and not being able to build enough houses, this, that, and the third. There's not enough money. There's not enough money in education. But we can fuck off and have a war for no reason that we started, that America has started for no fucking reason because of a ravings of a madman who talked to another madman, and both these
Yep.
madmen decided to do stupid shit.
Yep.
Um, and Mike Johnson can get up there and ask for, tens of millions and billions of dollars to fund all this stuff,
Oh, hey,
um, every
your
single fucking
boy,
week.
your boy, he who gives head to Seth
Yeah.
wants $1.5 trillion for the defense budget
Hmm.
because he
But
doesn't know maths.
and then we have all this money to put in flock cameras and data centers,
Right.
right? Look, how how is it, aside from the money thing, right? And here's where I kind of want to just lead into and leave off. How is it that these flock cameras, right, that we suddenly have money for, even though we don't have it for healthcare? How come these flock cameras, who, I think, as you said, how many missing people did they say they found?
No, they didn't say they
Or
found
or
any.
so, excuse me.
They said that they there were hits for
Yes,
125,000. And that
excuse me.
doesn't mean that for 125,000 people, that could have been a hit on the same individual 35
Right.
times. Right.
But we want to
Not
follow,
one, not one found, by the way, not one found.
right. Then that goes to my earlier my next point. Going into my next point here, right? How is it that we have all of this surveillance now, right? And we want to follow a guy, 415 hits on a singular guy in Norfolk, the place that we're basically,
Oh,
I'm
I
basically
know.
from,
I know.
right?
I know. I know.
Um, in
That was
Norfolk,
not lost on me. That was not lost on
yeah,
me.
it's crazy when I watched that video. I will link it in the description of this episode because
Yeah.
it's a good watch about flock cameras and how this is like this. It's legal, but it's actually a political, and there's a lot of technical nuance, even though it should be pretty straightforward that it's not nuanced. It's pretty black and white. These are terrible. But how are you going to follow a single guy, or how are these police officers following their old like high school crushes and stalking them.
Right.
But we can't
Right.
fucking find what happened to Nolan Wells. We can't
Right.
figure out who has hung. I think it's the
Tasia
16 or
Fortune.
26 different
Yeah.
black people, including Tasia, in the
Yeah.
past 2 years
Yeah.
hung,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
How come we can't find any of that?
Right.
Why are what are we not looking for? And it's
Right.
obvious, right? But
Oh,
not
motivation.
yeah. No, I know. Motivation, or they have it, they've all seen it, and they just dragged and hit delete,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But yeah, how do yeah, why do we have, why do we surveil the maybe that young homeless, kid, or that orphan kid, maybe stole a candy bar or something, right? And we go after him, but we can't find the missing people that we're looking for,
Right.
right?
Right. We can't see the names on the Epstein list.
Right.
Right.
All of it, and yes, all of this is like the most
Right.
biggest spider web of of like the most like look over here, right?
Right.
It's
Because how
the
many
most
of them are going to be in the files as well?
the most like fucking prestige of I'm in over here, but then I'm back over here of
Yeah.
this Epstein file, um, like illusion, right?
Yeah.
Just to get away. I don't. It, people have to, the greater populace. You have to think, if we have money for this and we're looking for this, why haven't this, and this? And you'll come to find that it doesn't add up.
It's all entangled together. It's all
Yeah.
intertwined. All
So,
right.
but we'll leave you there with that. See you next time.
Peace.